To conduct a document review utilizing the product rework program under the SQF module 2.4.6, first, check if the document title matches the uploaded file name on the dashboard. In this instance, we do have the same titles as product rework program. Next, both must have the same document code. For this example, we do have 2.4.6, and since this is a template, we indicate the PCQI as the account initials. However, we can customize the code based on the company initials. And for the page number, we use the page X of Y format. Ensure that it reflects the current page position and the total page number of the document. Then insert the company logo here, together with the company name and company address, and enter the designated department. For the originated by section, it can be the food safety, quality assurance, or the quality control personnel of the company. The originator ensures the implementation of the quality management and document control system. You may enter the name of the originator here, affix the signature, position title, and the date originated. For the reviewed by section, it can be the personnel assigned in quality department who reviews the drafted document or its revision for accuracy and implementation. And kindly enter the name of the reviewer, affix the signature, position title, and the date reviewed. For the approved by section, it must be the person in the C-level management who has the approval authority. Enter the name of the approver, affix the signature, the position title, and the date approved. For the revision date, it is the same as the date originated or drafted by the author. For the effective date, it is the date the document was signed and approved. The publication date is when the document is published for distribution and initiated personnel training. The implementation date is when the document is distributed and personnel training is completed. And for the supersedes, put original for the initial issuance of the document, and for any revision, you may reflect the initial revision date before the current revision. And please be reminded that this section must be properly filled out to be compliant. Now we will focus on the components of the program. First, we have its purpose. The purpose is the implementation of any certification standard or compliance with a regulatory requirement. For this program, it is for implementation with SQF Module 2, Edition 9 for food manufacturing under Clause 2.4.6. First, we have to implement SQF 2.4.6.1, the responsibility and methods outlining how ingredients, packaging, or products are reworked shall be documented and implemented. The methods applied shall be ensure reworking operations are overseen by qualified personnel. Rework product is clearly identified and traceable. Rework product is processed in accordance with the site's food safety plan. And each batch of rework products is inspected or analyzed as required before release. Inspection and analysis conform to the requirements outlined in element 2.4.4.1. Release of rework product conforms to element 2.4.7, and rework products does not affect the safety or integrity of the finished product. Records of all reworking operations shall be maintained. Second, we have the scope. The scope of the program is based on the purpose and serve as a guide in defining and describing the layout of the procedure. Under this, we have this procedure covers the reworking system or enter the company name. Either product for rework covers from in process, manufactured goods, or manufactured finished goods kept in a warehouse waiting for distribution. Third one, we have the policy. The policies are the rules set by the company as their implementation guide. And we have here the company document all the products that had been reworked or recouped under qualified supervision and under an approved procedure. Traceability is to retain and product is to be clearly identified. Evidence is to be if provided that each lot is released only after inspection. An important element of the rework procedure is the criteria for determination when product is to be reworked, how much can be reworked, under what condition it can be reworked, and how is it to be identified and traced. Rework protocol. Product after being reworked must be reviewed by per company designated food safety check to ensure that it meets all applicable specification. Care must be taken to ensure that allergens are not accidentally introduced into the product through rework. Next, reworking of perishable product must take into consideration the shelf life of the product being reworked. Example, the oldest product. Recouping operations must ensure that recouped product is not dented or damaged outside company specifications. Records of all reworking, recouping operations shall be maintained. When reworking or repacking ingredients, whether in a warehouse or production setting, the area where the work is being conducted must be checked for potential allergen residue or product itself must be contained if it's an allergen to protect other surrounding products from contamination. Otherwise, those products must be labeled appropriately. Next, ensure all of the details of the original product label remains with the damaged product. Use only the assigned utensils for repacking, reworking, and ensure that any new container or repack size contains the same information for ingredients, allergen, alerts, and a lot number as the original label. Affix additional allergen alert label to finished rework product. Fourth, we have is procedure. The procedure is a step-by-step process and the actual implementation of the policy. Damaged product isolated in the designated area in the warehouse or be taken to the repack area immediately. Fill up a product non-conformity form detailing the problem with the batch production, clearly identifying the part of the batch that has been affected. Damaged product reworked or repacked within a specified time period, and if any product has been exposed to the elements, corrected, secured immediately to prevent further potential contamination. Product for rework will be transferred to process area except for recouping as requested in the form. Product for rework form, a copy will be kept in the warehouse while the original will be sent with the goods. Finished goods for recouping are be transferred in the way separated from other raw materials and components. When the goods are transferred, production operators should check the pallet for correct product code and batch number labeled in the product for rework form. Rework protocol proceeds. The responsibility and methods outlining how materials, including in-process materials or food packaging product, are documented, implemented, and processed in a manner that does not contaminate raw materials or food packaging. The methods applied that ensures reworking operations are supervised by qualified personnel. Rework product is clearly identified and traceable. Each work or rework products are inspected or analyzed as required before release. Inspection and analysis conform to the requirements outlined in SQF element 2.5.4, product sampling, inspection, and analysis. Lastly, release of rework product conform to SQF element 2.4.7, product release. Next, food packaging manufactured with post-consumer recycled materials conform to the applicable regulatory requirements. Food packaging that contains printed information handled in a manner that prevents mix-up or intermingled product. Records of all reworking operations are maintained. Rework protocol or product specific. The protocol specify the manner of reworking a product. The protocol replicate the usual production process as closely as possible. Checks and tests conform in the usual production process include in the protocol. For example, if check weighing of packed cartons is part of the usual production process, then it is included in the rework protocol. The rework protocol was prepared by an operations team member or a quality staff. The protocol was checked and approved prior to execution by the production and quality heads respectively. Next is the documentation. product nonconformity form, product for rework label, and rework protocol. Fifth, we have the responsibility. The responsibility of the person is indicated. It covers what to perform to comply with the procedure policy. Under this, all personnel shall adhere to the policy. Preventive control qualified individual or PCQI. Visually inspect areas for compliance of this policy. Oversee or verify compliance of procedure. Ensure personnel are trained on this policy and procedures. Monitor and take corrective action to ensure compliance of this policy. Supervisor or department heads and team leaders are responsible to ensure, inspect, and verify this policy and procedure is adhered to, and take corrective action to ensure compliance of this policy. Next, quality department, validate training and adherence to policy and procedure. Monitor and document nonconformance observation, also known as discrepancy, using corrective action, preventive action, or CAPA report. Quality and compliance department, document control, records, and archive. 6 is corrective action. The corrective action is the process of taking appropriate steps to eliminate causes of nonconformities or other undesirable situation. And here, in the event of noncompliance or deviation, the following is conducted. Train the key personnel involved in the implementation of the program. Review the procedure for effectiveness and revise if needed. 7th, we have the responsibilities. And under this is the first one is 7.1. Warehouse staff isolated damaged product when it's recognized and advise the supervisor or designated employee. Next, reworking staff ensure all the appropriate labels are attached to the product when repacking or reworking occurs. Reworking with staff maintains records of the damaged product that is reworked on their production report responsibility. All personnel shall adhere to this policy. Preventive control qualified individual or PCQI visually inspect areas for compliance of this policy. Oversee or verify compliance procedure. Ensure personnel are trained on this policy and procedures. Monitor and take corrective action to ensure compliance of this policy. Supervisor or department heads and team leaders are responsible to ensure, inspect, and verify this policy and procedure is adhered to and take corrective action to ensure compliance of this policy. Next is quality department. Validate training and adherence to policy and procedure. Monitor and document nonconformance observation, also known as discrepancy, using corrective action, preventive action, or CAPA report. Quality and compliance department. Document control, records, and archive. 8. We have the reference documents. The reference documents are the set of documents used to implement and monitor a program, policy, and procedure. And we have here product rework monitoring records. 9th, we have the references. The reference section is composed of guides utilized to implement the program. Examples are the certification guide, regulations, and other widely accepted scientific journals, research, and the like. It is also must comply with the standard format citation, which can be based on either MLA, APA, Chicago style, and update the access date. Under this is the 9.1, SQF Module 11, Edition 9, Good Manufacturing Practices for Processing of Food Products, Section 2.4.6, Product Rework. Lastly, we have the history. The history section is where we can update the program if there are any changes or revisions made in the document. And for the revision, if there is a revision, enter the revision number, the revision date, the description of change made, the author or the originator name, and the title department of the author and originator. Thank you for participating in this document review. Content presented are for training purposes only and are based on interpretations of standards and best practices, and must be customized for your intended use. To fully customize your programs, policies, procedures, forms for records, and lessons for training, you may contact Interlink IQ or Consultor Inc. at services@interlinkiq.com or simply call 202-982-3002. For free access, visit interlinkiq.com.